Hello and welcome to another video by the Highlight Computer Club. This is Tom at the club. So today I thought we'd do a little bit of intro to Python. This isn't a whole course or anything, we're just going to do a little bit of looking at it as a language and playing about with it a little bit. So first off, I'm going to literally just run into the REPL, which is read, evaluate, print loop. And basically you can do that by either typing in Python or Python 3, depending upon your operating system. Now I'm just going to type in Python. It's going to open Python 3.92's REPL. You see these right-facing chevrons, there's 3 of them. This is a prompt. So here we can type in Python code and have it read the code in, evaluate it, print out an output, and loop back to the prompt. So a few things, we can print things in Python. So print the canonical hello world. And that's what print looks like in Python. It's print, which is a command. We have parentheses. The left parentheses is the opening and the right parentheses is the closing. So 2 parens, left paren, right paren. Inside here we're handing it a string, and the string is the data it's going to work on in that functionality. This is how we call a function or method in Python. So print is used to literally print stuff on the screen, that's all. Nothing special about it. So that's the concept there. Now here we've hit on one other thing. We've got a data structure. The data structure that we can see is a string. Strings in Python can be manipulated in different ways. So if I actually make an empty string, we can use what we call a dir command on a type of data structure to find out what we can do with it. So if we do dir on an empty string, press enter, it has this mass amount of different things. For now we're going to ignore all the things with double underscore. These are what we call sort of more data methods or data functionality. We'll literally ignore those for the moment. We have capitalize, so we can capitalize a string, case fold, center, count, encode, ends with, expand tabs, find, format, a load of other stuff here. So for now we're gonna go with the swap case. Now let's imagine we wanted to figure out what that does. If we can't tell by the name, we can go help, some parentheses again, and inside this parentheses put string dot swap case. So swap case, a method of built-in string instance, converts uppercase characters to lowercase and lowercase characters to uppercase. So it's a simple explanation of what the actual functionality does. So now to end this, we can press Q to get back to where we were. So now we've done a dir on a string data structure. We've done a help on a swap case method of the string data structure type. So if we made something else, let's say variables. So variables are basically, we could think of them like a box with a label, and the box is somewhere to store some data. So if I say a equals, now we've used a string before, so string, let's give this string some data. This is a test here, apparently. Test. Okay. So we've got a string A with this is a test. So now if I press A in a REPL, it will tell me what that data is. So we have this box that stores the string this is a test, and we've labeled it A. So once we've actually got that, we can print that. So if I just print A without any speech marks, it will literally use it and say, this is the label to some sort of variable, some piece of data in memory, and I want to just evaluate that. So the first thing is it evaluates that, so it swaps that out for the string, this is a test. Then it takes that in as an argument to print and prints it. So if I do that, we get this is a test. If I were to do the same but have speech marks, it's now just a string with the character A. It's no longer being treated like a variable, so it just prints A. So it's very important that you think about the difference between that. So A on its own with nothing else, since we gave it that label, is referring to that label. If I try and print B with nothing else, so let's do that. We haven't declared B to be anything. So if I do that, it goes, I don't know what it is. It's not defined. But if we say B is equal to a string of 1, 2, 3, well, let's just say A, B, C, then we try and print B, it's fine. It knows that that's a variable because we told it is. We can still print A and get that this is a test. So we have now two separate boxes, a box labelled A with this is a test, and a box labelled B with A, B, C. We're able to print both of those things. We can do other things to variables, but think about A. A is a string, so we can use dot swap case on A. Now notice how that this is a test. If I go A has not been changed in any way. Swap case just takes what the data is, swaps the case and returns it to the caller. That's all it does. It doesn't destroy or change anything inside that variable. So A is still this specific case, but if we use a.swapcase, it will return to us the opposite case. It swaps every time it sees a small character, it turns it into capital. Every time it sees a capital character, it turns it into a small. So far we've spoken about print, we've spoken about a data structure, string, and we've spoken about the ability to find out what methods are available on that data structure and how to kind of look at the help on one of those methods. So if we go and do a dir on A, since A is a string, it will have the same sort of list of things that can be done to it as if we handed it an empty string. So this is just kind of just referencing, saying, hey, what can we do with this? So we've used a swap case. We have a few other things. We've got split, we've got replace, we've got lower, which turns everything to lowercase, we've got join. There's a lot of different sort of things we can do. Now split can change our string into another data structure. This data structure is what we call a list. So let's talk a little bit about lists first. I'm going to make C, which is going to be another variable, equal to these brackets. Now if I put C, I end up with something with empty brackets. Let's have a look at what we can do with this data structure. Before I actually type it in, think about what that is. What did we do to look at what we can do with a string? What's the command? Hopefully you guessed it. dir. So we're going to do a dir of C, and it will tell us what can be done with a Python list. Again, we're going to be ignoring all these double underscore things. Let's pretend those don't exist for now. Let's start with append. So if we think of it logically, what would append do to a list? Shall we see if we're thinking in the right way? Let's do help of a list, or in fact, what was it was C we used, dot append. Append takes in some sort of thing to append to it. Method of the built-in list instance appends an object to the end of the list. And remember Q to get out of help. So let's append something to the list. Shall we append A to the list? Let's try that. So C dot append A. Now if I look at C, it has the content of A. So I can append things to the list. Let's try C dot append B. Now let's take a look at C. C now has this is a test and A, B, C. Lists can be viewed in different ways. We can view it like this, or we could say, well, I only want this particular element. And a list is indexed. So basically we can index from 0. So this is the 0th index. That's the 1 index. The next one will be 2, next one will be 3, and so on. So if I want C at the index of 0, I can put square brackets after the C and put a number in here. So let's say 0. It's now giving me the 0th index of the item in that list. If I'd done the same with a 1, I'd get A, B, C. If I try to go higher than the content of the list, so if I go to 2 thinking, oh, I don't want number 1, I want number 2, thinking that A, B, C is 2. 2 is the 3rd element in the list. Remember, it starts from 0. So what it's going to do is, it's going to error. It's going to say the list index is out of range. It's outside of the scope of this actual list. So we've kind of looked outside the box for some data. We can always add more things to our list. So we can do C dot append. And we don't just have to append a variable, we can append another string. This is another string. It doesn't have a variable on its own, but we can still reference it using C bracket 2 because it's the 3rd element inside our list. So we've still got a variable for it. This is like a bunch of stuff that we can use as multiple variables. So this one letter or word C can be used as multiple variables by indexing into a list. So lists of things can be manipulated in so many different ways. We can actually go around sorting them, we can iterate over them to do operations on a large list of things. We're not going to talk about iteration just yet. Let's take another look at what we can do in a list. So let's say dir C. Let's have a little look. We've got extend, we've got index, we've got insert, we've got pop, we've got remove, we've got reverse, and we've got sort. So if I did something like C to look at it, now I do C dot sort, and now I look at C. Notice how now it's the ABC is first. So we've kind of sorted it alphabetically. Now remember we've got a reverse. So let's do C dot reverse. Now it's reverse the order of the data inside that list. So we can sort things, we can reverse them. We can also manipulate them in different ways. For instance, if I want to reference A by way of C, I could do C at index of, at this point it is now index 1. Remember it moved, it's now over here. So C at index 1. So that's technically the same as A. So if I now C at index 1, yeah, dot sort, we should have a problem. It's like string object has no attribute sort. But why is that? We just did sort on our list, but we actually didn't. C at 1 is a reference to A, so it's just saying, hey, point over to that thing over there. So realistically we've done the same as saying A dot sort. The problem is string doesn't have a dot sort method. So what happens is it's going, well, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not a thing. So we can't actually sort that string directly. But we can do string operations on C of 1. So I could do dot swapcase. So it does the string operation because we're referencing a string that happens to be inside the list. Let's have a look. How long have we been going for? We've done like 20 minutes on this subject, so I think we're going to give you a break and I'll split this up and we'll do another video in a while. Hopefully it's been useful and a little taster to the start of introduction to Python. Remember, if you enjoyed the content, feel free to give us a thumbs up, and if you want to get more information, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon too. You have a good day.